Hello, are you out there? It's Mark with Redo Over. Oh my gosh, I had to think about my own name yet again. Here we are, back to Stellaris Vanilla in-depth tutorial. We are going to take a look at our planets over here right now. We haven't looked at them in a little bit as we've been hustling to get the Wentworth system resolved. We ran into some odd little gardeners, sort of an automated caretaker robotic fleet that's traveling between the worlds of Wentworth and Railrate, and we're just essentially trying to stay out of their way. And although I think they're hostile, we've managed to at least survey the system and move on. We're going to try and drop a colony ship onto Wentworth at some point. But before that happens, let's take a look at our three worlds. And then I think we should just discuss the sector of the galaxy, the arm of the galaxy that we're probably going to end up inhabiting for the mid game as our territory of space. But let's jump into Earth first. We can see that Earth currently has two available jobs. They're both pretty cruddy jobs, clerks actually, as well as one enforcer job that we've devaluated, I guess would be the word. So no one can go into that enforcer job for the time being. Otherwise, we've got plenty of amenities, and I think that's largely due to the fact that we've got holo theaters there. And those entertainers are producing just a chunk of amenities and a good little amount of unity, which we don't mind. So keeps our people very happy. You can see that's, what's the extra amenities getting us right now? Plus 14.8% to citizen pop happiness. So yeah, they're happy. We have a lot of housing, 95% stability. Everything is rocking pretty good, but since we're down to just the two clerk jobs, it's not unreasonable that we hunt after our next building here. And we've got enough minerals. We're sitting at 3,000, so yeah, we can get something else done. Let's look at our features real quickly just to make sure. Yeah, we've cleared out all the blockers on Earth, so there's no features to clear. Interestingly, oftentimes with your Empire capital, it's going to be somewhat diversified, especially in the earlier game. Now, you could imagine at some point you'd want to have very specialized planets. You'd have a planet for energy, planet for minerals, potentially a planet for food, although that's not really needed. You could have an alloys planet, a consumer goods planet, a science planet. Have I named all? No, there's even more. You could have a unity planet, and that's about it. That's kind of where it ends. But but that takes 6 worlds, that takes 8 worlds, 10, 12 worlds. When you start the game, oftentimes you're stuck with your initial 3. So you can't specialize down. So don't ever feel bad about diversifying a planet when you're like, oh, I watch other experts play Stellaris. I'm supposed to only specialize these worlds and this should only be an energy world. It's like, no. Yes, at some point through the mid-game you build to that, but in the early game, it's just not an option. Over here on the side bar, the outlier, you can see that we have the Empire capital, a mining world at Alpha Centauri Prime, and a generator world. It is fine for those to be mining and generator worlds, but even those we can't completely focus in. So as I look at this, the two things that I think would be very useful for our Empire overall would be additional unity and additional research. Now, if I already know that for the slow-growing worlds of Alpha Centauri Prime and Sirius Prime, if they are going to be working on our minerals and our energy, then Earth would be an excellent world to keep kind of the brainiac stuff going at. So that would be things like unity and research. So we're out of building slots. Clearly, we've used up everything down here. But if we build a city district, it will get us 5 more housing, an extra building slot, and an extra clerk job, which we can promptly ignore. So let's get the building district done. That'll free up one of our building slots, and then I think we'll take a look at probably a research lab, or maybe some other building if we have anything that would get us more. So we'll take a look at that when the time is right, but that'll keep them busy. So let's click over to our next world here, the continental mining world of Alpha Centauri Prime. Alpha Centauri Prime, folks. We've got 88% stability. That's not bad. We got tons of unity, again, because we have our fully functional holo theater entertaining our people to death. But we're out of jobs. Everything's full. 2 entertainers, 1 clerk, 2 colonists, 2 miners. Woo. We checked in on this just on time because, yeah, we don't want unemployed people. We're getting a little low on housing as well. So what do we do here? Well, if we know this is going to be a mining colony, we could certainly do another mining district. Wouldn't hurt. Or do we have an actual mining facility? No. We have an energy grid, but not a mineral resource washing ore processing facility. Yeah, so it'd be an ore processing facility. Something like that. We don't have it, which is okay. So let's just build the mining district. Keep it simple. It gets us the mining jobs. Eventually, we'll have an ore processing district. We'll build that then. And then let's jump into features. Yeah, we have dense jungle and toxic kelp, but we are lacking the selective defoliants and ocean ecology management technology. So we can't clear those yet. So I think that looks good. And let's jump to our third and final colony, which is Sirius Prime, which is a fantastic generator world, continental. 85 stability is very nice. Plenty of amenities, again, because of the Hollow Theater, but no jobs. Oh my gosh. Similar setup, entertainers, clerks, colonists, technicians. So, you know what, with this world, we know that we can, in fact, get an energy grid. So as we build out additional generator districts, we are going to get, if we build this energy grid, not only an additional technician job, which immediately alleviates our problem of running out of jobs, but it's also going to get us +1 energy credit per technician. So let's get the energy grid built. That's 400 minerals in 300 days. And let's get an additional generator district right in the queue after it. That's right. You can load up multiple items in the queue here. And I'm not going to go more than that. Now, I have enough minerals to where I could load up another 3 or 4 generator districts, no problem. But bear in mind, we'll be paying a 1 energy credit upkeep on every district, whether any of the jobs are being worked or not. So they'll sit fallow, essentially, meaning unused, but it will cost us. So for now, that'll keep them very busy. And actually, can I switch these? Yeah, let's put the generator district first. Why is that? Because the generator district will actually wrap up in 166 days as opposed to the energy grid's 300 days. So just in case our next pop comes that quick, which is how far away? 5 point. How do we know how far away the next pop is? Is it telling us? Current immigration increases pop growth. Oh, that's so fascinating. It looks like we just grew recently, actually, because the bar is not very full. But I'm trying to see. Oh, there you go. Growth of new pop will be completed in 20 months. So we got plenty of time. Plenty of time. But all right, at that point, we're about ready to run the clock forward. I know everybody's waiting for me to advance, but really, our arm of the galaxy, so our current situation, our current blue borders, we'll say, goes out on the northwestern passage here through the Lingle and the OY Crikey system, and then we have a southwestern passage that goes out through the Mayer Zevok system. Interestingly, though, there are no worlds really in these systems down here. You can see, well, I mean, there's a tundra world, but we already see that it's surveyed at a 25%. It's a really poor planet. But otherwise, the remainder of these systems have no planets. So when we make the decision, do we try and capture the northern arm or the southern, we'll say northern passage or southern passage? The northern passage has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible worlds versus the one known crappy world in the southern passage. That's part of the reason why pursuing the northern arm and really focusing on that makes a lot more sense. Hey, do I want these alloys down here at Wexia? Yeah. Do I want this social research here at Thanov and down here at Bakramar and Wexia? Yes, I do. I would love all that. But without the planets, those systems are just massively less valuable, right? Like if you add up all the stuff you could get from Bakramar, then you were just to compare it to what the world of OY Crikey 4 would get us, with possibly 8 buildings someday, 16 districts, 35 pops. it will produce 10 times what Bakramar will produce. This planet of OY Crikey 4 will outproduce eventually all these other systems combined, minus the one planet of Ramstan, if you can imagine. All the other systems, it would be worth more than that. So that's why it's initially you want to grab as much as you can, and the decision can be very painful to abandon a system like Wexy with those 3 alloy. But when you really do the long-term projections, OY Crikey or Wenkwert is just, it's not even a question. Either of those planets are worth all of these systems combined. Again, minus the Ramstan at 25%, which would make a pretty shitty world. So that's why that goes that way. Let's run the clock. We'll speed it up to fast speed. And yeah, we're just trying to... Oh, here we go. We got an event popped up. As the UNS Darwin passed the asteroid belt on its way to 91F-K14, Science Officer Jessica Newman reported that the ship experienced a number of sudden gravitational shifts. Ever curious, Jessica dispatched a number of probes to scan the debris field to discern the cause. It turns out that the culprit is a number of gravity generators of old alien make, sputtering on dying energy sources and with their polarities inverted. They occasionally spew reverse gravity into the void, though not with enough force to cause any serious harm. Not anymore. Science Officer Jessica theorizes that the generators once provided artificial gravity for a large asteroid in the belt, but some malfunction eventually tore the rock apart. A disturbing thought. So the UNS Darwin has gained essentially 1,000 physics research and nearly 800 engineering research for the piggy bank. Those are huge, huge gains. So helpful. And we'll click on that. Otherwise, we're using our constructors down here in the Southern Passage, essentially as monitoring for Xenos. And up top, yeah, we're building forward with the Yangtze, developing these systems. Yangtze has orders working on a research station at Olum. Then we're going to jump straight from there to OY Crikey to build the outpost and gain that planet. But we have another event popping up here. This is the Meshben civilization encountered. Give me a moment. I'm taking a sip of coffee. We've detected the presence of a pre-FTL alien civilization on Akram 4 in the Akram system. FTL is an acronym for faster than light travel. They currently seem to be experiencing the equivalent of a renaissance, having recently left the medieval age behind them. Scientific knowledge is spreading rapidly, and the armies of their petty kingdoms are equipped with crude gunpowder-based projectile weapons. We should consider building an observation post above their world to study them closely. Interesting. So this would be something we could do with this, I guess a constructor ship would build an observation post, or possibly just a science ship in orbit of the world could do it. I don't honestly remember, but we will take a look. And the Akram system is right up here. You can see it's given us the icon of this little, essentially that's an alien saucer projecting, well, I'm just going to call it what it is, folks. That is a probing beam. That is how you probe the primitives. I think we all get that. We've all been there, walking through the forest and having a little light shine down on us from above. Next thing you know, you wake up, no pants, you've been probed by the aliens. It's well, it's more common than we like to admit, I think. So we're going to say interesting, and we will continue zooming along here. Ooh, we have a new tradition available, and I'm just going to point out that we do have the 77 influence. We need the 67 for OY Crikey, so we are so close to seizing OY Crikey for our own, and the Yangtze is going to be done with that research station shortly. I'm very excited for that. But yeah, let's jump into our traditions available. And we've only got one option under the discovery tree, because we've already gotten to boldly go, and databank uplinks are filled up. So we're at science division. This is awesome. Research alternatives +1, science capacity +1, scientist starting skill level +1. We're going to adopt that. Yes, and we're 29 months away from the next breakthrough. And I think that's actually down. I think that number is dropping. Possibly we're gaining so much more unity per month than we were and that would come down to our agenda that we launched. If you remember, we've got a pretty long running agenda that gives us a big 40% bonus to all Unity. Otherwise, we'll let the clock run. I can see Alpha Centauri Prime finished up their mining world project. Fantastic. And we've got a new anomaly we just clocked here. Atmospheric anomaly at the Stratal 1 system. This is Herman Wagner's ship. Atmospheric readings from Strata 1 do not match simulated projections. This is routine. So, yeah, I don't think we're in a rush there anymore. I think we can take our time and let's have Herman do the research on that before pushing on. Bear in mind, I do see here that Sada Bari, our first fleet, is encountering a Sneaky's alien vessel. Probably, again, a survey ship, if I'm not mistaken. I would love to get an outpost at Stratatal just to block off these 4 systems up in the northernmost branch of this arm. But we'll hit research for now. And let's jump in here and see what's going on. Yeah, that is a scanning ship. You can see the survey beam right there. Obviously, we unfortunately cannot attack them. We've tried, but we have one of our policies prevents us from essentially destroying neutrals. So what are you going to do? Here we go. We're going to move the Yangtze onto Oi Crikey. We're going to start building that outpost, and the colony ship's already in orbit at Oi Crikey. You know what would probably be worth doing is getting another colony ship going in the Sol system. Let's jump into our shipyard. You can see we have 2 corvettes left. No problem, but let's get the colony ship built up. We've got plenty of food, consumer goods, and alloy to finish that job. And we're going to choose humans. And it'll be about a year till that's done, and it'll probably be at least a year for that colony ship to travel up to Wencourt. But we've got quite a bit of time since we're still 1, 2, 3 systems from Wencourt. Potentially 4 if we claim Stratal. Because yes, we would go for Stratal if possible before we claim the Akram or the Elthane system, since those are behind our lines function. Clock is running. Terraforming candidate, and another event. Swirling shadows. Immense ragged planes of shadow drift across Stratal 1's face. They are cast not by clouds, but by sheets of organic material drifting through the upper layers of the atmosphere, hinged, or rather jointed, to allow for a small degree of articulation. Science Officer Herman Wagner is yet unwilling to say whether these things are flora or fauna, or what possible purpose, if any, their elaborate shadow casting might serve. We'll say okay, and this adds the shadow play modifier to Stratal 1, giving it simply a +4 to its social research. And finally, terraforming candidate discovered. Akram 2 has been identified as a terraforming candidate. The planet will be tracked as a potential future colonization planet. Yeah, we talked about that. Every now and again, we're just getting the terraforming candidate modifier added to a otherwise crappy world. So a dead world, we'll say. And we'll run the clock. Yangtze is on her way. We got a couple things going on here. We have another event. So at MF-BRF, Strategic Resource Discovered, essentially the UNS Gagarin has discovered a previously unknown strategic resource dubbed volatile motes. These preternatural particles contain a tremendous amount of energy which could be exploited in energy production as fuel or even as explosives. We do not yet possess the means to extract the resources. Okay, but yeah, we now, what did we have? Space nuts before, and now we also have volatile motes. These are over here at Stratal, if I'm not mistaken, right there, volatile motes. So that's another reason why we really want to get Stratal if possible. Here she goes. Yangtze's moving into position. Oh shoot, I forgot about our research options. My bad. Let's jump in here. Ah shit, I didn't even read what we got. Crap. Well, that sucks. Yeah, talking too much. Okay, here we go. Let's pick technology, folks. We have afterburners. This would yield us essentially combat speed, make our ships more efficacious in ship-to-ship combat. Not a bad thing. We can also get a standardized Corvette pattern. This is one that I really like the idea of. It's coming in at a pretty cheap rate here at 2,600, but it makes the build cost less and it increases the build speed for both corvettes and frigates. That stacks on top of our... Oh, that's what we finished researching then under engineering. If you recall, we had done what? We got like a 5% reduction in alloy cost, in some cost of building corvettes. I can't remember what it was now. So this would stack on top of that. And the reason for that is we don't necessarily want to drill down super hard on military designs at this point as far as technology goes. It takes a lot of effort to get your deflectors, your armor, your beam weapons, your kinetic weapons, your ship patterns, right? All this technology goes into it, things like afterburners. There's a lot of other really nice technologies that come along with engineering. For instance, long-range mineral scanners for our mining stations in space, or just our straight miners on our planets. We get a big 20% bonus. But I'm not as interested about getting more minerals right now, because the truth is we're generating more than enough minerals, more than we can get through for the time being. So I would rather go for this Corvette pattern so that the one warship we have access to right now, which is the Corvettes, are cheaper and faster to build. That's why I want to go with the standardized Corvette pattern. There you go. And let's take a look at our other technology we just grabbed. This was the basic combat roles. So let's see. Active matrices tuned for specific combat-centric tasks greatly improve engagement efficiencies. Yeah, it's not... A matrices is like it's like an algebraic 2D array of calculations. I don't know if anyone knows matrices math, but it's not a neural net per se, because in a neural net, the connections between the different nodes, the different cells, because you might develop a neural net that is kind of laid out like a two-dimensional array in software, but each cell isn't interacting with every other cell the way matrix algebra would work. So it's not quite saying it's AI neural network as we know it now yet. So, which is, you know, it is a difference, but it is quite powerful. Granted, is it advanced technology? I wouldn't say so. I mean, matrix algebra has been around for a long time, so but we'll hit new research choice here. So, survey speed. Do we need a 25% boost to survey speed? It's not a bad thing. We got plenty of systems left to survey, and we have a limited number of science ships surveying. But I don't think we're in the crazy race that we were in before. And as we've said many, many, many times, our bottleneck on exploring and expanding our empire is not survey speed at this point. It is influence cost. So I think we can skip on automatic survey. Field modulation, this is a very nice, just plus 20% from all of our technicians, and energy from star-based construction, plus 10%. So any place where you'd see like Phainov here, right? There's 2 energy coming off the Phainov system, Romston 5 energy. Those space stations that would harvest that energy would get a 10% bonus. So you get 5.5 from the Romston station if you were to do that. So not bad. It's quite cheap at 2,100. What else do we have? Fusion reactors. Nuclear fusion processes generate a great amount of power for ships, but without many of the risks associated with fusion power. So, fission power. Yeah. So this is fusion reactor. This would allow us to just put more equipment on our warships. Not a bad choice, but this is yet again another technology branch you have to go down to really make your warships the most powerful, right? You could just dump all of your research all the time into military ships. I don't think that's a great idea, though, for the United Terrans, the United Earthlings, because these species traits for humans don't lend themselves to being great warriors. They're not authoritarian, they're not militaristic. So I don't think we need to do that. And then finally, for a very nice cheap 2,100, we could get research station output. All of these are decent choices. Currently, I think we have more energy than we could even bear to use for the time being. So I say we go with research station output for a very cheap 2100. We'll have that in 22 months. You can see the costs on these is starting to drop. Remember, initially we were looking at 70 months, 100 months. Now we're getting down to just 2 or 3 years out. So I like that. And the only other thing I was really curious about, let's go to the research button. Remember, we kind of missed out on what engineering research had popped up, but we can go to researched. We can now sort by physics tab, society tab, or engineering tab. And right here, we can see, yes, improved Corvette hulls. I was going to say Corvette, but that would be wrong. Corvette. Corvette hull points plus 10%. So that was the point, is that Corvette hull points gets us more durable ships. They're hit points. They have 10% more hit points. And we're researching how to build them with less material and faster. So all those are going to synergize very well to get us some very robust and cheap Corvettes. That's awesome. Nothing wrong with that. And then finally, terraforming candidate discovered there at Akram. Unfortunately, the Akram 5 Arctic world is sitting at a 30% habitability. Not great. But Akram 4 is not the terraforming candidate. If you recall, there were 2 worlds in the Akram system. Let's click in there real quick. And if we scroll down, there's Akram 5 and Akram 4. Oh my gosh, that has... Akram 4 has the pre-FTL civilization on it, on this ocean world. Can we click on that? Yeah. It's a 70% habitable. Oh my gosh. With features. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Could we exterminate the pre-FTL species and take this world for ourselves? Oh, look at this, you guys. They have a stone palaces, which looks like a pyramid. Look at that. It gives them 3 housing, plus 25% amenities, minus 10 to crime, a feudal noble job, warrior job, scholar job, cleric jobs. Now, that's one thing that Stellaris does really, really well, is that it's built all these technologies up and down the pipeline. It's just so cool. And here you can see there's primitive dwellings, 6 housing, 12 population on this world. So actually quite a few people on the world. Very marginal stability. Gosh, I would love to suck that world into our sphere of influence. But wasn't Akram, I thought one of these worlds was a terraforming candidate. Am I wrong about that? Am I wrong about that? Let's see. No, it's not this one. Oh, that's so weird. I really thought we'd seen a terraforming candidate pop up here. That's the Arctic world, obviously. There she is. Wow, that was hard to spot. Check this out. Akram 2 is the terraforming candidate. Right there. So, interestingly, Akram 5 is habitable, but barely. Akram 4 is habitable at 70%. Very nice for us, but it's already occupied by pre-FTL civilization. I wonder, I think because we're xenophiles, we wouldn't eradicate them in the roleplay, but it would be, it's a world ripe for the picking. If you want a next world, there it is. And then finally, Akram 2. So potentially there's 3 worlds in this system. So that's very rich. That's a very rich world. Where are we at here? So, oh, why crikey? How we doing? The Yangtze is building the starbase now. And let's just check the Gagarin. She is continuing on her survey mission, hitting these other systems. Let's make sure that the Russian ship, yes, is surveying additional systems. Those are all going very smoothly. And then down here, we're just waiting. We're just waiting, biding our time to claim these systems. And we will if we can. Now, what's the Darwin doing? Oh, wow, she finished her research project. Let's scoot her on. Check that out. By the way, when I click, say, on a construction ship, I just realized this. You don't see any research anomalies. But when I click on a science ship, here, look at all these research anomalies pop up. So yeah, let's, so the Darwin's not sitting fallow. We'll send her to Romston. We'll right click, research anomalies in the system. It'll give her something to do for the time being. But yeah, we'll see where we get. We are at OY Crikey. We need to go to Wasset. We need to go to Wencourt, claim it, and then we want to try to get to Stratal and claim it. I would stop at Stratal because there's only one way in. I would not actually want Sada Bar. What is it? Sadal Bari, because there are two ways into it. It's less defensible than Stratal. So Stratal is my end point. If I can get everything I want, that's where I would want our space to end. Let's run the clock. Unpause the game, folks.
System survey complete.
See another Xeno ship coming in here. The Howleys are probably going to build or research Bendar. And we got an anomaly popped up. Signs of precursor activity. This is coming at Stratal 3 from Herman. There are signs of activity by an ancient precursor civilization on this inhospitable rock. I want us to research it right now. Yeah, is that the right choice? Yeah. I think so. I want to make sure we can get this anomaly researched while we can. Let's just take a quick look here. What's this Xeno ship doing? These guys are surveying. It looks like. Let's just see. Yes, they're surveying. I'm pausing the game here because if they're doing a survey on the entire system, it's possible that the Gagarin can finish this research project before they're done, and then we want to beat them to all the remainder of these systems, if that makes sense. We'll close those out, and we will hit go. Clock is running, folks. Clock is running. We're keeping an eye on the Yangtze. They're nearly done with that starbase. Starbase done. Perfect. So we're going to do two things really quickly. We are going to have the Yangtze develop the science station for that big 5 physics research. Very nice. Before we scoot them on. And by the time they get to Wasset, they're probably going to have the 67 influence we need to claim Wasset. But in the meantime, we have a colony ship ready to go at OY Crikey. We right-click, colonize planet. Boom. And I can say OY Crikey. That's not that bad. I'm used to saying it now, so I don't need to change the name to something more simple like Joe, you know. And I want to scroll over real quickly. Our fleet is looking pretty beefy. We've nearly capped out our Corvette capacity, which I like. We could certainly upgrade that fleet. Why not? We'll click that. That'll burn up some of our surplus alloys. And if I'm not mistaken, our shipyard should be working on the colony ship. Yeah, 23% done. Let's run the clock.
Colonization in progress.
And construction complete. Whoa, where did that happen? Oh, that was the outpost. Sorry, that was the Yangtze's outpost. Was that construction complete? Otherwise, the Yangtze is crushing through there. Colonization. Let's scroll back up here. You can see OY Crikey is in the process right now of being colonized. Right, they're unpacking the colony ship. We're going to pause again real quick. I'm going to send the Yangtze onto Wasset. And we'll just move here for now. Oh my gosh, she's almost ready. There we go. We're actually going to click her again. We're going to right-click again and say build this outpost there. It is ready to seize, folks. This is looking pretty nice. And real quick, I'm going to pause. I'm going to jump into OY Crikey. How long is our timetable on these now? Let's see. We're sitting at... we're going to say she started this process at... We'll say the first of the year, so 2218, and she will complete at the end of the year 2219. So a 24-month, maybe 22 to 24 months, I would say, for colonization. That's not bad. We got that down to less than 2 years, so that's a pretty good rate for colonization speed. And we're running the clock forward here. Keeping an eye over here on this Xeno ship as well as this Xeno ship here. Let's jump into Bindar and see what is this. Oh, they are literally just building additional alien stations. Oh, as well as military fleets. Okay, they've really spread out.
Ships upgraded.
But this is us right here. This is our United Nations of Earth fleet. We're just sitting here. I guess we're peaceful, right? Do we have 2 fleets here? Oh, yeah. Look at that. We have 2 large fleets. The Xenos don't seem to interfere with us. That's fine. I guess that's fine. Could I retreat one of the two fleets, though. You can see the second and the third fleet are both sitting there at Bender. Could I send one back to Klendath? Or are these aliens hostile to us? Let's jump in here. Can't really see what they're doing. Let's try this. Let's just, for a little bit of fun, let's send the larger of the two fleets, the third fleet. Let's send it into Klendath. What the heck? If we lose a couple of corvettes, it's no big deal, right? No skin off our back. And the fourth fleet, finally, back at Earth, is fully upgraded. That's fantastic. Let's do a quick fleet comparison here. So, fourth fleet has 6 out of 20 possible corvettes. Its firepower is sitting at 377, fully upgraded. We don't really have anything to compare it to. The first fleet, also sitting at 6 corvettes, has not been upgraded and is sitting at 381 firepower. So it's a non-upgraded fleet that's more efficacious than the fourth fleet. But the reason for that is because the first fleet has the brave Augustine Aguilera in charge of it. And she is going to be providing, when we mouse here at her level 3 commander, what's she getting here? Commanding a fleet effect is ship fire rate plus 3%, disengagement opportunities plus 0.2. Yeah, it's not that much. Crap. That's surprising. Oh, it's probably also our most experienced fleet. So fleets do gain experience, but what I'm not sure about is where you see that, right? As I mouse over, say, this corvette here, the Nybor, I see its military power, rank regular. She's a regular crew. I would say that's versus a green crew, possibly. So let's jump out of there. Let's mouse over to Earth. We might as well just take a quick look-see. So here's the UNS Eagle, which is one of our newer ships. She's also a regular crew. Gosh, someone was telling me that in comments that, in fact, your fleets can gain experience, but I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing where that lives. I got military power, right? There's nothing I can click on here. Hull points, armor points, shields. I mean, down here, there definitely is a rank of regular. But what would that go? Normally, you'd have green would be a new crew that has not seen combat or brand new. Regular and elite. Those would be your 3 tiers of rank, if I can recall. Well, let's not worry about it too much, but I do find that fascinating that the two fleets, I mean, maybe that 4-point difference is literally just the 3% fire rate from Aguara. But if we were to upgrade the fleet eventually, it would probably go up higher. Now, to be honest, to get the first, second, or third fleet upgraded, we would have to send them back to the Sol Station shipyard. That's a long way to go. Now, bear in mind, as soon as we get to a proper choke point, so potentially Zvox or Wenkwert, we will develop a starbase and we will put a shipyard on it. We'll have like a air quotes behind the frontier starport or shipyard. So let's run the clock for the time being, though. That's enough chit chat. Let's keep things going here, folks.
Complete.
Very nice. Wasset just completed construction. We are going to grab them. Since the minerals are 2, the energy's 3, there's barely any difference. We're just going to right-click and just tell them to build the 2 stations. I'm not going to specify which station comes first, since they're in such near parity, it's not really going to matter. We are saving up rapidly already. Our monthly influence gain has climbed, by the way, to 4.12 rather than the base 3. So our power projection is increased by 1.12, which is nice. Why are we projecting power? If we go down to the bottom of this pop-up, you can say to increase, declare other empires as rivals. We haven't done that. Or supplement power projection by having a large navy size compared to empire size. Okay, so what that means is that our empire size is sitting at 97. We're just about to cross the 100 threshold, but it's telling us that having 27 corvettes is good, is considerable relative to our size of 97. I like that. You know what else that tells me? It tells me that I want to build the final 3 corvettes, and I want to find a way to increase our naval capacity beyond 30, because I want more power projection, because I want more influence, right? If influence is the rarest of the rare for our resources, whatever we can do to increase that is what we want to do. So let's jump down here to the shipyard of the Sol Station. You can see that the colony ship has finished. We're going to jump in the shipyard and we're going to build the final 3 corvettes. There you go. That's going to max us out. We'll see if we can remember to pay attention to see if the 4.12 will climb even higher from power projection. And we need to send the colony ship, the Jamaica, yeah, on towards Wentworth, because we know that's the next colony we're going to want to do. Their entire trip is going to take 808 days, so well over 2 years, folks. But here we go. Let's run the clock.
Survey complete.
The Elthine survey is completed. Fantastic.
Hostile fleet engaged.
Whoa. Oh, we're going at it at Clendath, folks. We've got some pop-ups here. Fleet combat, hostile fleet present. If we click on the fleet combat, it takes us right to the combat. This is essentially, I guess, a little energy graph showing our ships versus their ships. And this line will move. It'll fluctuate. You can see the defender's hull points are sitting at 2420. The attacker's hull points are at 2900, thus giving them that slight advantage. But I'm looking at our overall attack power. I'm seeing that they're coming in at, well, they're scattered, right? Or no, this is us. These are our ships, and this is the station we're attacking. Let's watch the combat. Whoa, that's not a station. That's a ship. Holy crud. I'm going to pause that real fast. We won. We won. We survived it. Fantastic. Shut down the 3rd fleet. They fought. Did any of them die? No ships died. As far as I can tell, we gained a ship from our starbase. So no ships lost. Let's close. Oh, I wanted to see the survey. Here we go. Combat fleet status. I am not great at breaking this down. I'm going to be really honest, but here we go. Fleet combat at Clendath. It gives you the date. So this was essentially just wrapped up a month ago. We lost no ships. Fantastic. Asset projection unit. Ancient destroyer destroyed. Clendath mining station. Nothing claimed. I don't exactly know. But damage output. Damage to hull. This was 50% efficient. Small cutting lasers, medium cutting lasers. Yeah, so this is like mining drones, I guess. Damage to shields. Interesting. The cutting lasers are quite effective against the shields, it would seem. Hit ratio, 38%. So our hit ratio was considerably higher. Our evasion was at 23% relative to their 2%. And yeah, we did a lot more damage to hulls and a lot more damage to armor. So their lasers were effective against our shields, but we didn't really... I don't think we had shields. So we won the fight. Needless to say, folks, we won the fight. So what does that mean? I see there's a small project here. There is probably debris. Yes, look at this. Debris in Clendath. Space battle debris from us destroying those. So trace components of mining, cutting, or medium cutting lasers, small cutting lasers, fusion reactors, and ion thrusters. Listen, we have, I don't know, looks like, how many years is that? A lot. It is 6 years, maybe 5 years to research it. The debris is going to be out there in space, in orbit. We just need to get a science ship there. We actually have a science ship local here at Romston. The Darwin is nearly done with their investigation. So when they have finished at Romston, we will send them back to Clendath to investigate the space debris. Now, I'm going to be completely blunt. It's possible it would have been wise to have left those Xenos unmolested because we were in the process of researching the drones. Have we lost the ability to do that process? I don't know.
An alien empire has established communications.
Whoa. We finished first contact with the Mirages. So reports of deep space drones previously encountered have been investigated closer. The drones appear to be the workers and custodians of an autonomous orbital mining operation established millennia ago. and then soon abandoned by all but the drones themselves, judging by the state of the processing equipment. So we've established communication, but I think that just completed because we destroyed them. It's possible we could have gotten some sort of benefits from living in harmony with the drones. Possibly if we had come up with communication standards with the drones, meaning understood the protocols for communication. If we had run into drones around other systems, they would have seen us as neutral and allowed us to pass safely. But we went to war with them. That's fine. Ultimately, our fleet gained some experience from the combat, so I don't. You could see the rank actually did increase to experienced, right? Experienced. So, in that sense, we did gain something for destroying them, and we're gonna get their technology as well. So here, let's run the clock. Here we're gonna end our first contact. We'll close down these other things. We're just gonna watch the Darwin here. She completes her investigation at Romston. We'll read whatever the summary is. Boom. Okay, here we go. Event chain precursors, the First League. The wreckage of what must have been a major First League naval base has been detected in orbit around Romston 1. We know the League maintained a massive fleet called the Grand Navy to combat piracy and safeguard member nations from external aggressors. This particular outpost appears to have provided berthing for one of their rimward patrol fleets. Remarkable. Issue Special Project Naval Base. We will do that. And you can see here, God, they'll be finished pretty quickly. Yeah, let's do two things. We have the Darwin selected. We're going to shift right-click Research Project, and then I'm going to shift right-click Research Project. So she will now have two orders. First the Naval Base, then the debris in Clendath. So that'll keep Jessica busy for a while, and we'll get lots of good stuff out of that. Otherwise, I'm going to keep the Third Fleet in Clendath to, well, I don't know, hopefully keep the Howleys from coming in. I don't think that will do it, but yeah, what are you going to do? And then, yeah, we're watching what's going on up here in the Wentworth system. I can see the Yangtze is currently building out these stations, and we have the influence ready right now to move on to Wentworth. Unfortunately, our influence dropped down to 1.11. So I'm not sure what happened there. We've still got the First Fleet stationed at Sadal Bari, and I'm not sure where the Xenos are. I assume they're in Ukraiki right now. And we have a new event popped up, League Prison Complex. So this is the precursor event chain again. The ruins of a large prison complex have been discovered on Stratal 3. This hostile world seems to have served as some kind of maximum security penal colony for the First League. As a federal facility, the prison housed convicted felons from across all League space. Surviving records indicate most of the prisoners were guilty of piracy, terrorism, and other crimes of extraordinary nature. Fossilized remains of some prisoners can still be found here in the cells. So, that's interesting. We have a new special project called Penal Colony. This is from the Gagarin, which is right here. I'm going to have the Gagarin jump on that project right now. But we have another communications established. We are receiving a transmission from the Ishnayan state. They appear to have successfully translated our language. So in this case, we lost the race to make first contact. They won it. Diplomatic channels are now open, and all hostilities between us have ceased for the moment. Interesting. And here they are. Oh my God, they are lovely. We're xenophiles. We think they're adorable. This is a moral democracy. Federation builders. They are pacifists. Fantastic. And they are fanatic egalitarians. That's cool. Are we egalitarian? Shit, I can remember if we're egalitarian. I think we're egalitarian. Here, hold on. Can I mount? It's not going to show me. Okay. This is good. I think that we can find peace with these creatures. They look kind of like plantoids. Here's what they're saying to us. Well met, friends. We are the Ishnayan state, a nation built on the principles of peaceful coexistence and individual freedoms. Prime Minister Good Lord, the current head of our government, has expressed a sincere hope for lasting friendship between our two peoples. You know what? Since we are, we're air quotes the nice guys, we can say we wish for nothing but to be friends, Ishni. And that's what we're going to say. And we'll seek friendly relations with them. Why not? That is going to generate opinion of us on their part of plus 50. It just gives us a plus 50. We're going to take a look at what that means here in just a moment. But we have even more shit popping up. First, alien encounter. The news that we have encountered intelligent alien life for the first time has spread like wildfire throughout the United Nations of Earth. Our citizens are fascinated by these beings, and the media is full of reports and speculation on the culture and society. The revelation that we are not alone in the galaxy has largely been greeted with celebration on Earth. Because we're xenophiles, we're excited about this. Just like us, the aliens appear to be relative newcomers to the galactic stage, and their level of technology is similar to our own. This is a momentous occasion. And finally, first contact aborted. Our first contact process with the Hallies has been aborted as they have established communications with us first. That's right. They got the win. I'm going to pause this real quick, though. Let's scroll out. This is the Ishtari system. So yeah, this actually gives us a pretty good view of it. You can see this is probably their home world or their capital. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 systems, or actually 1, 2, 3 systems between us and them. This is the Ishni fleet right here, and we're kind of living in harmony with them. You can see this is actually their border, so they are pushing into space, into our space right now. I'm actually going to retreat back the second fleet to Bracamar, just to get it out of their space. I don't want to create a diplomatic issue, but we're going to hold the frontier. We're going to hold this line with our ships as long as we can, falling back, but claiming any systems that are possible. And obviously, the Darwin is going to be doing the research projects possible before we lose access potentially to these worlds. And what else do we got going on here? Remember, the Gagarin did have a research project here in the Stratal system. This is the penal colony that we're going to research because there's fossilized alien remains. We're looking over here. The Russian ship is still doing its survey processes at Latium and Mirik. It's fantastic. And my gosh, the Yangtze is still building that mining station. She's almost ready to dart ahead and claim the Winkwort system. We have plenty of influence at this moment. So yeah, first contact abandoned. First contact event pending. That is with who? In the Caesaro system? Keep at it. Awesome. What do we got here? 80 days. Travis is working on that. Difficulty is 9. That is hell level difficulty. I'm assuming 9 is as high as it goes. I believe that difficulty number is between 0 and 9. I don't know why it's so bad, but these are the sneakies. Where are these the sneakies? Yeah, we're really struggling to make a proper first contact with them, but it is what it is, folks. However, let's do a couple things. Let's jump over to our species. Government. Trying to see where we can contact the Xenos. Here, let's look real quickly. We are egalitarian, which is nice, and we are also xenophile. So that's fantastic. We can also see that if we click up here, we can see that we are fanatic egalitarian, as well as xenophile. Very nice. But yes, I'm trying to see where we can make contact with the Xenos. Where are the Xenos at? What am I missing here, folks? What am I missing? Market claims, discoveries, contacts. That's what I was looking for. So under contacts, we have us, the Player Empire, United Nations of Earth, and here is the Ishni State Federation Builders. Unfortunately, although our relations are at neutral, they're at minus 30. Since we don't have enough intel, we can't speculate as to the reasons why we're at minus 30. We don't have any other information about them. But, I mean, for the time being, we're at peace, but they're wary of us. I would love to get our relations into the positive. I don't know that I'm going to worry about that just yet. I think that's something that would be worthy of looking at maybe in the next episode, is jumping in and trying to, like, actually have our leader talk to their leader. But for the time being, let's run the clock. We're waiting for a couple things to happen. We're waiting for the Yangtze to finish. She just did. We're going to move the Yangtze on to Wenkwert. We are going to build an outpost, and hopefully the caretakers, they're yellow to us now. I'm hoping they will not destroy the Yangtze. Scooting over, I can see the colony ship is on their way to Wenkwert. They are still 541 days out. That's a while. It'll work out, though. We'll get it. And, of course, we are going to have the Yangtze, once they've claimed Wenkwert, move on to the Stratal system, hopefully claiming that. The Gagarin is going to finish up that penal colony and then continue surveying the Stratal system. So, altogether, the timing should work out. But let's look at our tradition available. We only have one pick. The Polytechnic Education Center. Fantastic. It's like a community college. In this age of increasingly advanced technology, a base education in polytechnics and applied sciences will benefit all of our citizens. This will inevitably lead to more qualified leaders. So our overall leader pool size increases by 1, and leaders' experience gain rate is improved by 10%. So they gain experience 10% faster. We will select it. Yes, we're 33 months from the next level. We're actually, that next pop that will, the next improvement in the tradition will cap off the discovery tree. It will be able to gain a new ascension perk. So that's probably going to be happening on our next episode, as we're closing in on the end of this episode. But some really exciting stuff to be looking at here shortly. I'm going to run the clock forward again. Our fleet size is maxed. Max capacity. And I'm going to point out, though, that as we got our fleet capacity maxed to 30 of 30, I mouse back over. Our power projection has indeed climbed to 1.23. That is very nice. At this point, I really want to find a technology that will increase our naval capacity. But otherwise, here is the archaeological project completed. Event chain precursors, the First League. Our archaeological mission to the First League naval base has concluded. We recovered an emblem of the 28th Outer Rim Patrol Fleet, a mid-sized task force charged with the defense of trade routes leading to League-associated nations along the Galactic Rim. The base orbiting Ramston 1 was apparently their home port. Interesting find. This gives a +1 First League artifact recovered. Oh, I like that. And a nice chunk of engineering research. Interesting find. We'll click that. And we're just going to make sure that the Darwin is en route to Klendath, which they are. Fantastic. I'm going to pause the clock real quick. We have a couple things going on. Let's look at our research we just finished. Gene clinics. And this is just nice. It's essentially a medical center for our worlds. It gives us 2 medical worker jobs. Those jobs are going to convert consumer goods into amenities, pop growth speed, organic pop assembly speed, and they improve planet habitability. Fantastic. Plus 5% on the planet we build the gene clinic on. That's really nice. So we will select a new research real quickly. This is under the society tree. Now, bear in mind, Herman is always going to give us bumps to biology research if we should go that route. So here's what we could do. We could learn how to clear the toxic kelp blocker. Not necessary. Toxic kelp forests in the oceans of our colonies is not holding up the development of our empire. So not a priority for the time being. Ground defense planning. We don't really have a need for armies. We're not at war with anyone, so we'll skip on that. Naval capacity. Oh, yes. Naval capacity plus 25. Oh my gosh. Is that literally what I've been asking for? We can effectively support a number of ships equal to 30 units. That's fleet size. Naval capacity. Is that correct? Yeah? Plus 25? Oh, that's exactly what I've been asking for. I think we need to we need to get that. I'm only equivocating because here are the hydroponic farms, which is this one, the unlocked starbase building hydroponic bay. For 1 energy credit, you can take one of the building slots on your star bases and get 10 food. It doesn't take a job. It's not a job. It's just you just have some solar panels, you're letting the starlight through, and you grow food. 1 energy equals 10 food. Really nice. However, to be fair, we've only got the Earth starbase right now. We're going to be building some more soon. Up here, we've only got 1 of 3 star bases. Or sorry, here, 1 of 4. But what I want is that 25 naval capacity. I want to build more corvettes, and I want to boost our power projection. So that is what I've been asking for. That's what we're selecting, folks. We will have that in a massive 104 months. Holy shoot, that is so far away. That is so far away. And where are we at? Here's we're building the starbase at Wentworth. Awesome. Let me scroll out. Everything's looking pretty good, you guys. Things are going swimmingly. The Gagarin is almost done with the penal colony research. There she goes. Let's wrap this up here. And archaeological project completed. We're almost done with our episode for today. This is another part of the event chain for the First League, folks. The archaeological mission at Stratal 3 has uncovered evidence of what appears to be a failed escape attempt with distance south of the prison some distance south of the prison complex. A toppled utility vehicle in the prison was found behind a small cliff. Several kilometers beyond that, the remains of several prisoners in stolen pressure suits were huddled together. They seem to have died of asphyxiation when the oxygen supply in their suits ran out. For whatever reason, the prison authorities evidently saw no reason to collect the bodies. Oh my gosh, that's harsh. Interesting find. That's another +1 First League artifact recovered, and that is a massive 616 physics research for finding desiccated Xenos in suits. I don't know what it has to do with physics, but sure, I'll take it. I'm going to pause that real quick. Let's see here. I want to make sure the Darwin is researching the debris there at Klendath, and Gagarin has no orders, of course, because she abandoned them, but we will shift click to survey the system, and we will shift click to survey, shift click to survey. I'm just reassigning the orders to the Gagarin here. But yeah, she'll continue on with Stratal. The Russian ship should move on to... Okay, I think we're going to have to pause it right there. Holy crap, we got everything popping up on us. We're at an hour. This is exciting. There's so much stuff going on right now, folks. Oh, and actually, next session, we're going to do a couple things. I'm just going to do a quick recap. OY Crikey is going to become a full colony, so we'll jump in there, take a look at the world. We are going to jump in and try and find out what's going on with these precursor artifacts, these First League artifacts. We found 2 of them, or +2 of them at this point. So that might fall underneath the situation log. And yeah, that among other things, we are going to see about maybe talking to the Xeno plant guys down here from the Ishitari and seeing about making some sort of peace or diplomatic outreach with them to improve their opinion of us. So those are the things we're going to work on immediately upon our next session. But otherwise, I'm going to save the game right here. If you watched, thank you so much. I will see you next weekend.